Hey there. One of the things I've noticed as I've gotten older is how differently you begin to see people. When you're younger, relationships often feel pretty simple. Someone is either your friend or they're not. Someone is either trustworthy or they're not. But as the years go by and you experience more of life, you begin to look at people with a little more understanding and a little bit more patience. Life has a way of slowly teaching us all about human nature. Over the years, you'll meet a lot of different people with a lot of different personalities. You'll build friendships and you'll lose touch with some people, and that's okay. Eventually, as you go along, certain patterns about people start to become clearer. One, people are complicated. When you're younger, it's easier to label people quickly: good, bad, trustworthy, untrustworthy. But as we get older and we go through life and we get a lot more experiences with people, you realize that those labels can be complicated. There's more going on underneath the surface that maybe we didn't give a lot of credence to. Everyone is shaped by their experiences, both good and bad. You'll have people that struggle with some things and that we may not even know about that they let affect who they are. And, these things mold people into who they, who you see on the surface, I guess. Number two is everyone is carrying struggles you can't see. Kind of piggybacking off the last point. Most people are dealing with things underneath the surface, behind the scenes, so to speak. Might be family issues, health problems, financial stress, or personal doubts. We don't know. I mean, we all have them. You and I have them. I'm sure that you carry certain things every day with you that burden you or bring you down or shape who you are, good or bad. Um, realizing both, excuse me, realizing both that we have those same issues and that other people have issues that they don't talk about. Um, I feel as we get older, it allows us or makes us more patient and less quick to judge about people because you just don't know. Number three point is actions matter more than words. Anyone can say the right things or make promises, but people that carry through are the ones that we really remember, whether it's us carrying through on promises and making good on things that we've said, or other people in relation to us. Those have far greater impact than just words. And over time, you notice who actually follows through. You notice those people, they stand out to you versus the people who make promises and kind of quietly fade back into the background. And those people that are always there for you and you for other people, they earn the most respect. Like I said, nothing could be more satisfying than standing out to someone as somebody that they can count on. And I enjoy, I have a small circle of friends, not large at all, but I'd like to think that most, if not all, of the people in that circle, family and friends included, consider me trustworthy and someone that they can count on if they ever needed my help. And likewise, I like to think that the people that I keep as friends and, you know, close confidants are the same type of people. The next point is that consistency reveals character. Character is not revealed in one moment, it shows up over time. Watching how someone behaves over the years tells you a lot about who they are. I've known people that could put on the mask, fake it for a little while, and then their true self comes out. But the people that I consider close friends are the people that act the same, do the same year in and year out. And I know I can count on because they've given me a track record that I know I can trust. Consistently, consistency builds credibility. The next point is that some friendships just fade naturally, and that's okay. Not every friendship lasts forever, nor was it every friendship built to last forever. I have friends that I was, you know, obviously growing up, I moved around a lot. I had friends, best friends, people that I played sports with that I considered at the moment my very best friends that I haven't talked to in 30 some years. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. Both of us are going on with our lives. That was a moment in our lives that was important, but don't feel like every relationship that you've had in your life you have to cultivate. Some will last for years and decades, and that's outstanding. But the ones that fade away don't necessarily always have to fade away negatively. They just fade away, and that's okay. Just kind of the ebb and flow of life. Careers, families, priorities, moving. Um, you know, People just go in different directions, and that's perfectly fine. There's no reason to hold animosity or to feel the need to reach out and reignite something that doesn't need to be reignited. You have your own set of friends, they have theirs, and you know that's perfectly fine. My next point is that life moves people in different directions. You know, like I said earlier, some people stay friends for decades, others become part of a chapter. That's a better word, I guess, is what I was trying to say earlier. Just a chapter in your life. My next point is that kindness is underrated, and that's a big one for me. Um, I've noticed as I get older the power of kindness, showing somebody doing simple, kind things. Um, I don't know about you, but I feel good if I help somebody jumpstart a car in a parking lot or something like that. Something, just a simple act where maybe I didn't need to. Maybe I could have just, walked away and said, I don't have time, or I don't have the equipment, or I simply just don't want to help. Um, but putting yourself out there sometimes feels really good. It does to me anyway. I get a nice sense of satisfaction that I've, done something good for someone else and helped them out in some way. Um, Too often we get caught up in success and status, but it's the little tiny things that really make life move forward. The everyday things that really go uncelebrated and you know, unknown, you know, I think make all the difference in the world. My next point is that small acts matter more than status. And these points kind of piggyback off each other if you haven't noticed already. It's kind of keeping kind of a tight topic. Um, that goes for thoughtful words, not just a helping hand, but saying something nice to someone, or recognizes someone in a moment, really means a lot. Um, you know, Listening to someone when they need it the most. And that's one thing, being a good listener as we get older, I think is something that we develop and we kind of learn. Um, if somebody has something to talk, they're not necessarily asking for your opinion, but they want somebody to talk to. And I think it's important to sometimes recognize the difference and not feel the need to kind of interject your own opinion into the moment, but let them vent, let them get something off their chest. And once again, that's one of those things you don't maybe get a lot of thanks for, but it's very appreciated. One thing, one point I want to harp on too is that as we get older, drama becomes exhausting. I don't know about you, but I, want less drama in my life as I get older. By the time I'm in my late 50s, and, I've seen plenty of conflict in my time. And I know that a lot of it, some of it might be justified, but a lot of it just drains energy, and is not worthy of my time and attention. Arguments that once felt necessary, the importance of winning an argument feels unnecessary now. Just walk away. Like I said before, and I want to make the distinction: there are some things that I think are worth fighting for, um, but a vast majority of what we worry about and we stew about doesn't matter. And so in most of those cases where I determine that it's kind of an unnecessary thing, I try to find my way around that and walk away from it. So peace, to me, becomes more valuable than arguments or winning an argument. Um, I choose peace over trying to prove a point. When I was younger, that was my whole thing, was I wanted to be right. I wanted to prove my point. Now it's not so much that way. Um, I definitely know that you can't convince everybody all the time of your way of thinking. So I think as we get older, we stop trying to turn that dial and we kind of just back off of that. You can't, because you can't change most people. Um, People rarely change unless they truly want to. So your words and your points aren't necessarily going to just convince somebody to flip the way they've been thinking. They have their own criteria for thinking the way they do. And saying a few choice words or making a few key points probably is not going to sway that and change it 180. It might make a point, but like I said before, that's neither here nor there. What I can change is how I respond. Patience, boundaries, attitude, they make all the difference in the world. Um, I've learned that focusing on my own response brings me peace. Don't try to, when I talk about peace, it's inner peace. It's not necessarily trying to make that person peaceful with me. You will also you will have people around you that want to stir the pot all the time, but how you handle your own inner peace is important. Trust in people. Like I said before, I have a small group of people that I trust a lot. That has happened over many years. Some people you give like a thin veil of trust for a little while. If they're new, they kind of present themselves in a trustworthy fashion and you kind of give them that leeway, but you're always cautious and you always can pull back that accolade at any time. But other people that have, you've known for decades, like members of my family or something, I trust them completely. They've earned that trust over years and years. And it would be shocking if they did something that was untrustworthy. It really would, because I've kind of let my guard down for them. Um, and you do that over time because somebody consistently is always proving themselves. And so you know that you can count on them. Like I said earlier, words aren't enough. Actions matter. Another point is respect is earned through behavior. As we get older, I realize that respect, isn't really about titles or appearances on the outside. It's about how someone treats other people, how they treat you, how you treat other people. That's where I think true respect is given, because you earned it, and it's a physical thing you can see. My next point is that titles and statuses mean less over time. They just do. Integrity, reliability, and kindness stand out way more to me than somebody that's president of a company or has, blah, 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 any kind of huge, societal status. Um, not necessarily the people we see on TV, because I don't consider them like real in the sense that they're not a physical part of my life. Um, I'm talking about people that are near and dear to you. So if somebody has like an amazing job that's your best friend or something, um, that job is impressive. Maybe the talent that they do is impressive. The talent that they have to perform that job is impressive. But what really matters to me is how they treat me. Um, and that goes in that inner circle that we talked about earlier. That goes a lot further than their job status, their pay rate, or whatever. So in closing, wrap this up quickly. As we reach, late 50s and beyond, I think that I've gained a lot more appreciation for, simple, authentic relationships. I think authenticity is the key. Um, I value people who are genuine, dependable, and kind. And I'm pretty sure you do the same. Those are the relationships to me that really tend to matter the most in the long run. So comment below. Tell me what you think. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you'll come back and visit our channel again. I thank you very much.